If you ask me what I think about parry in air limit, I will tell you probably that, well, it's totally busted. Even if you are not great with parry or something average, you don't need a lot of parrying in order to cause major problems for bosses. Basically, not a lot of parries in this game will eventually lead to the boss being staggered for a relatively long time and allow you to do a fatal strike. Which fatal strike, especially if you're gonna upgrade it with seals, can deal massive damage to bosses. And what you see here is exactly that. This is a fatal strike. Break the stance of the boss and you can actually follow up with an attack. Now to make things worse, because you have this again fatal strike, you don't actually need to use your weapon in order to defeat bosses. You can just parry them to death. Now I can tell you that attacks in air limit are telegraphed very well. Also, by the way, when it comes to sound cues, also very well made, which is, by the way, this is a good thing. However, you find that especially if you play a bit, that parrying is not that hard because again, many things goes in favor here for the player. First of all, the easing of the animation and the way, it's not linear, but it's very easy telegraphed well to the player, and there are not really super fast attacks that eventually will cause you to miss a parry. Anyway, many players who are, let's say, veteran Souls players who play many Souls games, especially those who play Sekiro, for example, like myself, I wasn't really good at parrying after Sekiro. At least in this game, this is my first after Sekiro. I felt comfortable with it. I still think the parry is very accessible here, way more than some other games. Try to use parry, for example, in Elden Ring. The parry window is much smaller. So if you equip with the build that everything fatal strike, for example what I'm actually using here, you can also significantly increase the fatal strike damage. And with some other builds you can also heal, by the way. Although it's not really necessary here in New Game Plus, you already have lots of points to invest in health or whatever, although I didn't invest a lot here. But basically parry wins you bosses in this game, and this is true to any enemy you'll encounter because you can just parry I think almost everything. I haven't checked lots of certain moves, but many of the attacks I can actually parry. In Sekiro they deliberately make certain attacks that you can't parry. So you need to do certain things like, for example, dashing, or I forgot how it's called, or you can actually even step on top of weapons when enemy do a front thrust. So deliberately they knew that people can actually abuse certain things regarding parry, so what they've done, they actually made some attacks that are not parryable. So what you need to do, you need to, adjust quickly and to make the right choice, and that makes things, of course, harder. So basically I'm just using a build with seal that are focused on fatal strike, and also make sure that the parry doesn't cost me any sync rate energy. Again, not I'm saying that the main seal is optimized here, I'm just saying I just use one with the 5 in order to be able to use more seal. So what it takes on this? Well, yeah, definitely this is overpowered for sure. So if you're comfortable with parrying, the game will be much easier for you. And by the way, if you know how to parry, you can also dash your way as well. Because you know the timing. So some people mentioned in the past, parry a lot and how it will be like without parrying. Well, you can just dash it out. So it can be the same because I know when to, exactly the timing to actually parry. There's no problem for me to dash as well. But again, the thing is that when you do parry, you significantly reduce the sync rate of the boss. And once you do that, you reduce their damage, sometimes even reduce, in this case, their ability to actually transition to the next stage. In terms of different attacks and damage. And of course, you can just stagger them down eventually. And of course, if you combine this with a weapon, it's just busted even more. Like if you combine this, for example, with piercing, or use, for example, your piercing claw, or you have a piercing weapon and you have really strong skill, you basically even make everything even easier, if I can say it like that. And with certain skill you can even do even more damage than the fatal strike, and you can actually chain it so they get, for example, pierced and they get kind of staggered for a short time. You can just chain certain attacks. At the end of this, of course, I just told myself that it's enough. I just wanted to get hit because I didn't want to finish the fight, so I can do another one. Yeah, but overall it just shows that it's totally busted in this game. And basically, if you want to make the game easier for you, all you need to do is just know what to parry, and if you spend a bit of time adjusting to it, this game will turn to be a piece of cake. Whether this thing needs to be nerfed, in my opinion, yes. But at the same time, I need to admit that it's super fun in this game, as it is. So the way to balance it is just make some bosses, harder in terms of their animations, attack animations, and maybe some really crazy abilities, and mix and match and do other type of crazy stuff. So it won't be easy to parry. So maybe not nerfing the parry, but making some bosses, harder. But maybe because of that, some people will suffer, those who actually don't parry. So I don't know. It's up to the devs to balance it out. Nonetheless, I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What are your thoughts regarding parry at all? If you use it a bit, all the time, and was it hard for you, not hard? In the comment section, let's discuss it there. Thanks.